It's here, it's finally here. I can't believe it's here. Pearl Abyss's massive action-adventure game that was announced in 2019. 7 years ago, near enough 7 years ago. Crimson Desert has finally arrived and I am so excited to talk about it. Yes guys, welcome to VG Vault, a video game channel, and this is the one that I've been looking forward to for the longest time. So Crimson Desert is here and you are watching another episode of 5 Hours In, my series where I play a game for 5 hours and do my initial early reactions, right? Unfortunately, I'm not one of the guys that gets sent the pre-release codes. I'm not at that level yet, but I'm hoping you guys can help me get there. So guys, for that, if you like this kind of content and want to see more, please do me the distinct honor of liking and sharing this video, subscribe to the channel, or just roast me in the comments, whatever gets you through your day. Right, so let's just do it, man. Crimson Desert, 5 hours in. So look, the whole point of this series is I believe that in 5 hours, you generally know whether you're going to carry on playing a game or not, and you generally know whether you're going to like it. So we are going to go through some of the things that I've experienced in the first 5 hours of this game, and we're going to tear it apart. I'm going to tell you what I think. So caveats and context, right? Crimson Desert is absolutely massive, and TLDW, even after 5 hours of this game, I've barely scratched the surface. And also I particularly, because of how engaging this game is, I chose to play it slowly. I am choosing to walk around a lot. I am choosing to savor the moments. I didn't just bomb through as far as I could to unlock as much as I could as possible. But that is just how the game led me to want to enjoy it. So like I say, I haven't covered a huge amount of content in the first 5 hours. So before you know anything, you know that this game is absolutely massive. And for me, it is a world to be lived in, not one to be powered through. So we're going to start with what I think is one of the biggest things that is going to be on people's lips about this game with how ambitious it is, and that's the performance. So for me, I am playing on a base PS5, right? And I have been worried about that. I've been really, really worried about that. But I'm playing on a base PS5. I have a 43-inch 4K TV with VRR, and I am playing with VSync on in the game. So having a base PS5, I'm trying to give myself the best opportunity for it to look and run well. So guys, they did it. They did it. I'm not going to lie to you. It's not perfect, but it is not Cyberpunk 2077. It is not an absolute train wreck of a launch. They have optimized it really, really, really well, right? So there are 3 modes in this game, as there are in a lot of games. There is a performance mode, a balanced mode, and a quality mode. I'm not gonna lie to you, the performance mode normally is what I go for. It's not worth it. It's just not worth it. I cannot play this game in performance mode. If any of you played Final Fantasy VII Rebirth and that game's performance mode, this is exactly what Crimson Desert is like in performance mode. It is so blurry. It feels like I've necked a few beers before I started playing it when I play it in performance mode, right? It does get you that nice, silky, smooth frame rate and everything feels really snappy, but there is just this fuzzy film over everything and the textures are really undefined and it feels like playing it on a Steam Deck or something, man. So look, out of the gate, don't play this game on performance mode. Just don't do it. If you absolutely have to, for one reason, maybe your TV can't hold up to balanced or quality or whatever, I'm not sure. But for me, the balanced mode is where I am choosing to play this game. Balanced mode is not as smooth and as snappy as I would like, but ultimately it looks absolutely gorgeous, and that is what I have spent the majority of my time playing through. Now, the quality mode, I was surprised at the quality mode. So the quality mode looks phenomenal, man. Honestly, it's like you can see the grain in the wood on the shield and on his shield on the back of him, and it looks absolutely stunning. And for just walking around the city and stuff, I'm surprised at how it's a solid 30. Do you know what I mean? It's a solid 30. I recently reviewed Avowed, right? And the quality mode in that game on the base PS5 is unplayable. I was just like, this looks absolutely awful. I was expecting even worse with Crimson Desert, but to be fair to it, if you don't mind 30 frames a second, quality mode is a way to go for sure. Absolutely it is. But I am playing in balanced, which makes it look really nice. And it is exactly as it says on the tin, right? It's not as smooth as 60 frames and it's not quite as pretty as quality mode, but it looks good. It feels great. And they have done an amazing job. I'm not going to lie to you, I am a little bit upset with myself that I didn't somehow manage to get myself a PS5 Pro for this launch, because having seen all of the other reviews that have come out about this game, it looks absolutely stunning. But even with my cobbled together set of equipment that I've got with my base PS5 and a reasonably cheap TV that's 120 hertz VRR, it looks really good. It plays really well. And after an hour or so, I kind of got used to the not quite super sharp, smooth frame rate. And the VRR means that there's no screen tearing or anything like that. So I can't comment on if you haven't got a TV with VRR on it or a monitor with VRR on it. But in general, if you're on a base PS5 and you want something higher than 30 frames per second, play it on balanced mode. But if you don't mind a 30, quality is definitely possible. Don't play it on performance mode. It's like I wear glasses and playing this game on performance mode felt like I was playing it sat 10 meters away with my glasses off. Do you know what I mean? It was awful. Couldn't do it. But in general, like I say, they've done a really good job on the optimization for the bottom level console. So for that, I'm really happy. So another big important question before I get into my actual time and what I did in the game is, who is this game for? I think, so the reviews have been really, really mixed about Crimson Desert, and I'm not going to lie to you, it totally makes sense. Like, Crimson Desert looks like a game that you've played before. That's the thing. It looks like a beautiful version of it, don't get me wrong, but it looks like a big open world action RPG kind of thing that you've played before. It's not. It's just not. And the game is very unapologetic in the way it presents itself to you. Now, what I mean by that is I am 5 hours into this game, and what I've covered and what I've seen, I would probably normally see in the first hour of any other game, right? There's a lot of reasons that this game is not going to be for everyone. A lot of the reviews and a lot of the people that are negging on it and that aren't particularly happy about it are talking about how unintuitive it is, right? And we're going to get into the controls and stuff later, but the controls is a big part of it, and like I say, how the mechanics present themselves. So for me, that word unintuitive, I think, is a placeholder essentially for people saying my gamer muscle memory doesn't work with this game. A little example, right? So I am so used to pressing L3 to sprint, and I'm so used to pressing the touchpad to go to the map. And these are just tiny examples that I keep doing them. Do you know what I mean? I keep doing them because my gamer muscle memory from all of these other games that I've played that have these things based there, it doesn't work that way. Do you know what I mean? And as we're going to get onto later, like with the combat and some of the systems for little things like chopping wood and stuff like that, it is not really intuitive in the way that you're like, oh, I've done this in a game before, therefore I will be able to do it here. It really presents you with its own set of mechanics, its own control scheme for everything. So you are going to spend a lot of time learning how to play this game. You are not going to be able to dive in and in the first half an hour feel like you know what you're doing and just work on making your character more powerful. I'm only 5 hours in, and I'm expecting the next 10 to 15 hours to continue teaching me how to play it, for me to have to get used to how I'm going to learn all these mechanics and things that I'm going to do. It throws a lot of stuff at you, and essentially it's not for the faint of heart. And when I say that, I don't mean, I'm not even talking about difficulty. Like, loads of people love a challenging game, don't get me wrong, but it is just you are going to have to spend the first 15, maybe 20 hours learning how to play this game. And if you're the kind of person that just wants to jump in and play it, this game probably isn't going to be for you. You're really going to have to commit to it. You're really going to have to put some time aside, and you're going to have to try and unlearn your gamer instincts in order to manage this game that looks like a game that you've played before but does not feel like one at all. So essentially what I'm saying is you need time and patience, and if you're not a gamer that has time and patience for a massive adventure like this, then probably not going to be for you. Right, moving on to the world. Right now, disclaimer, I haven't seen much of the world yet, but oh, it's beautiful, man. It's absolutely beautiful. And like I say, I'm in the balanced mode as well, but this game is so pretty. I have spent so much time, like I mentioned in the intro, just walking around, looking at things and like hearing the music and feeling engaged in it and talking to, you know, little tiny conversations that barely amount to anything with people that walk past you in the street. And I am just literally looking around and walking around this world like, oh my God, I love it. I literally love it so much. I'm living in it and it's stunning. It's so well put together. There is this one scene, I think I've put it in already, but I'll put it here again, where you walk across a bridge basically right at the start of the game. And it gave me the same feeling as that first time in The Witcher 3, in the very beginning, when you walk to the balcony and look out over Kaer Morhen, right? Do you remember that moment? You remember that moment from The Witcher? I had almost exactly the same feeling while I was walking across this bridge, and I looked at and the guy was literally like, oh, it's quite pretty around here, have a look. And I did, and I was just like, I did like a slow pan on the camera, and I was just like, oh, mate, this is unbelievable. It's so pretty, it's so stunning, and it's so huge. It's so huge, it's ridiculous. I've not even got got out of the first town in my first 5 hours, barely got out of the first town, let alone really diving into what I can see in the world. But what I know is everything that I can see is reachable, it's attainable. The draw distance is really good. It's just so stunning, man. Do you know what? Even the opening scene, where it pans to you and you're just walking through this dark forest, I was just like, oh, mate, this world, in what the little I've seen, and this is the massive, massive thing as well, I've seen so little of this world because I'm only talking about the first 5 hours. It's stunning, it's beautiful, and I cannot wait to see what else it's got to offer. Right, okay, so I've talked about it a little bit already, but we're going to move into the controls, right? So this is what's going to put a lot of people off in this game. This is not like, I'll give you an example, and a lot of people have complained about this already. If you want to talk to an NPC or a shopkeeper, you don't just walk up to them and there's one button prompt that comes up. There's 2 button prompts. Now, for me, that's literally not a big deal because I don't mind stuff like that. But this is what I was talking about with the muscle memory and the gamer intuitiveness and stuff like that. Crimson Desert essentially makes you target the person you want to talk to and then gives you some options of whether you want to talk to them, give them a gift, hear their request, or go to their shop or whatever. Do you know what I mean? So even that in itself, they've put a layer in front of what you'd normally just be able to do. You'd click X and then it'd bring you into the menu, right? And they've just rearranged a lot of stuff that you would normally be really used to. For instance, the platforming is another weird one in terms of the controls, right? Because what this game has is like climbing and jumping, and it's got verticality and it's got all of that stuff in it as well. One of the things that is a little bit unusual, and like I say, some people will probably not enjoy so much, but I'm just absolutely trying my hardest to get into it, is you have to aim your jumps for precision jumps. It's not even the jumping in Elden Ring, which is like one of the hardest games I've ever played, was so much easier. This game, you walk up to a platform, you aim at the platform, a little light ball appears, and you click and you jump basically to where you're aiming your light at. And if you want to avoid like falling off big things, and do you know what I mean, it's like it's really, really precise. And it's, I don't think complicated is the right word. It's just so unlike anything else that I've played in this kind of genre before. Do you know what I mean? So look, the thing is, it's unapologetic about this. Crimson Desert is offering you a set of controls. We're going to talk about the combat later, and we'll circle back to this. But it is offering you a set of controls that are unashamedly how they want you to play this game. They have not looked at their contemporaries like Elden Ring or the big Assassin's Creed games or Kingdom Come Deliverance or anything like Ghost of Tsushima, nothing like that at all, and gone, oh, we like that in this game, so we're going to make it like this. There's a lot of aspects in the game that draw from other games, like, for instance, the way you run is kind of similar to how you do in GTA and Red Dead. Do you know what I mean? You like tap the X button. So there are some moments like that, but in general, in order to facilitate your time in the game, they are presenting you with a basic brand new set of controls. For me, not really a problem because I'm so invested in this game that I'm committed to learning all of it. That might put a few people off. So with that, let's talk about the combat, right? And do you know what? The mad thing, I've played this game for 5 hours, and I haven't come across a huge amount of combat. Do you know what I mean? And again, I liken it to the most recent new RPG that I played. And I say it's new. It was new for me, was Avowed. Like, within the first hour of Avowed, I'd been in like 30 combat scenarios. Do you know what I mean? With Crimson Desert, I've probably been like in 10 or 15 in my entire run through so far. So the combat itself, like I say, we'll talk about the control scheme. It is not anything like anything else I've ever played before. It's almost more like a fighting game, like an arena fighter or something. It's a combo-based system. It's got a light attack and it's got a heavy attack, but what you're not going to be doing is just swapping between light and heavy attacks to achieve different combos. Different button combinations have different moves, right? So if you press L1 and R2, you'll do like a shield bash. If you hold down R1 and R2 at the same time, you'll do like a charged up power move. Clicking R1 does your light attack, clicking R2 does your heavy attack, and I think it was clicking R1 and circle does like a spin move that makes you jump back a little bit. Clicking R1 and then X does like a spin move that slashes out at a group of people in front of you. It's taken me a little while, and the thing is, there's 2 reasons for that. A, the combat is not like anything I've played before, and B, also, I haven't been in a huge amount of combat situations in my first 5 hours in the game. It's going to take a while to figure out, man. Like, I only really started getting to grips with the concept of the combo-based stuff once I started looking through the skill tree. Because at the very beginning, the game puts you in a combat scenario and gives you some button prompts. Light attack, heavy attack, whatever. Do you know what I mean? Okay, cool. And you get through that. But there's so much more to it than that. And in my first 5 hours, what I haven't come across yet is a robust tutorial or a sparring area or something where I can practice, right? Now, maybe that exists in the game. Don't know that yet. Let me know in the comments if you have played this game and you've come across anything like that. that. But in order to learn how to play this game, I'm going to have to study. I'm going to have to go into that skills, memorize those different kind of moves, experiment in real time when I get into combat scenarios that have actual jeopardy, because if I'm experimenting, the game's a little bit more difficult and I can lose. So all of a sudden, like I say, there's actual jeopardy in this situation. The game is unapologetic like that. There's no difficulty slider. There is no easy, hard mode or whatever. It just is how it is. I love that, by the way, because Elden Ring was like that, and up till now, one of my most beautiful gaming experiences ever, because I mastered it and I learned. Well, I didn't master Elden Ring, but I got through it. And same sort of thing with Crimson Desert. I am going to have to eventually dive into the community if I want to find out, you know, if I can't figure it out for myself, I'm going to have to dive into the community, because it doesn't look like the game is just going to show me how to get good at the combat. I'm really going to have to figure it out for myself. And the reason that is difficult and a little bit overwhelming is because the game has so many systems that you can use. There's some magic systems and stuff as well that, you know, I haven't touched on a huge amount yet because I'm not very far into the game. But just with the combat in itself, it's fun, it's visceral, but it's hard, and it's not hard like Elden Ring is hard. Elden Ring is hard because the bosses do loads of damage and have crazy movesets, right? It's hard for a very different reason. It's hard because you've got so much to learn. How I feel about this game is, once I've figured out the combat, and now I'm not saying none of the bosses will be hard, but I don't think I'll struggle in general once I've kind of found my rhythm and whatever. But and I felt very much the same about Kingdom Come Deliverance, right? Kingdom Come Deliverance didn't have a normal combat system compared to what you used to. It was one that was hard, not because it was, you know, unfair. It was hard because of the way it was built. And for me, that's exactly how Crimson Desert feels. So, do I like the combat? Yes. But much like with the rest of this game, I've barely scratched the surface of it yet, and I've still got a lot more to learn. So, moving on, side activities, right? And I'm not going to lie to you, this is what's basically got me through the game so far. I could have powered through to get further into the game to try and unlock more stuff. But I'm not going to lie to you, as soon as the game put me in that opening town, I was just like, right, well, I'm staying here. I actively made that decision rather than powering through with the main quest, which it does give you, and it says you go here and do this, and that's going to push the story forward. I was like, yeah, but what's that purple thing on the map? What's this, a bounty? What's this guy saying? Is there a blacksmith somewhere around here? Is there like a tailor? Is there, you know, what can I discover? And that introductory town has so much stuff in it for you to figure out. And I absolutely loved it. This is what I'm going to be spending the majority of my time doing. And when I say this is a game to be lived in, not to be powered through, this is exactly what I'm talking about, right? So in terms of side activities, there's side quests, right? Obviously, there's little quests where you can either come across people in the world, or you can go to like a notice board, kind of like you could in The Witcher 3. You go to the notice board, and if there's a little purple spot on the notice board, that means there's probably a new quest there, and you can find quests through that, or you can meet people out in the world. So far, the majority of the side quests that I've done in this town seem to be serving as tutorials for game mechanics. I really like that. Instead of the game putting me on rails for a really long time and being like, this is how you chop wood, this is how you mine, this is how you fish. It's given the tutorial of those sort of things to me optionally, right? It's let me make the decision. So, for instance, the first few quests that I picked up, one was, as I've just said, this guy wants me to go and mine something. I go to him, he gives me a pickaxe, gives me a location, sends me to it, I mine the thing for him, and I get a reward for it. There's a woman that wanted some fish scales or something in order to make her thing. So instead of, you know, the game being like, this is how you fish, by the way, fishing is a thing, intuitive, and I think this is intuitive, by the way. A lot of people are complaining about unintuitive mechanics. I think this is one of the intuitive ones. I go to her, she gives me a fishing rod, she gives me a task of going to have to fish for her. I had to go and learn how to fish in order to complete that quest and get the reward. So for me, the game is teaching me how to do things and rewarding me for making that decision. Do you know what I mean? So I really, really love that. So that's obviously not going to be the case throughout the entire game. They're not all just going to be tutorializing sort of thing, but even just the level of that kind of side questing, I'm absolutely loving. One of the other things that there is world events, right? And now I'll be honest, I've only come across one so far, but I loved it. I couldn't believe it. I was looking for a bounty, right? Because that's another thing I'll get into in a minute. I was looking for a bounty, and I found myself at this place, and I couldn't find the bounty, and I was just like, okay, maybe I'll give up on this one and come back to it later, because I want to go and do some other stuff while I'm trying to get the 5-hour thing done. And then I'll just see this guy hanging off a cliff, and I'm like, that's unusual. He's reaching a hand out. I think he needs help. So I walked over to the guy. He's hanging off a cliff. I had to do the aim and talk to him thing, which again, do you know what I mean, is, whatever you feel about that. I talk to the guy, I pull him up, and then he's like, I saw a chest wedged in the cliff down there. I tried to get it, but I couldn't. Thanks very much for pulling me up. So this unmarked world event, it wasn't a quest. It wasn't something I picked up. I was just walking around. I see this guy there, and I'm like, he needs my help. I go and help him, and he rewards me with go down there because you can climb. And then I found some weapons and a chest with some stuff in it. Do you know what I mean? And it was just like a tiny thing. It was such a small, tiny thing, but I loved it because I wasn't expecting it. Do you know what I mean? I absolutely, and this is one of the things, we're so conditioned to look for markers and stuff, aren't we? We're so conditioned to be like, this thing says I go here and complete that quest. And then what there was, all of a sudden, I'm just walking past this dude. He needs my help. He's hanging off a cliff. I pull him up and he sends me down there to go and pick up a reward. It's a tiny thing, but that is potential in there. So what that is going to make me do now is keep my eyes even wider open. Do you know what I mean? I'm going to be looking at every single nook and cranny of this game for anything that doesn't look like it's a normal thing or it's just an NPC just chilling or whatever. I'm going to be like, is there a mission there? Is there a quest there? Is there a reward there? And actively, the game design of that tiny world event is going to make me want to look for absolutely everything like that I can find so I can get more loot, more rewards, more whatever, whether it be experience. Do you know what I mean? There's so much. I'm not even going to be able to fit everything that there is in this game in the 5-hour review. I've just thought about even more things. But the world events was something, like I say, I only came across the one, but I loved it and I can't wait to find more. And as well as that, there's your other usual side activities, right? So, like I mentioned, some of the side quests took me to mining so you can mine. Some of the side quests took me to chopping wood down. Some of the side quests took me to fishing. There's also arm wrestling, and I engaged in about 4 of the arm wrestles. And again, I liked it. It was fun. I won a little bit of money. I went into this tavern thing and did the arm wrestling, and I completed a challenge for doing it 3 times in a row. And I'm like, yeah, that's really cool. And above the tavern, I also discovered the gambling section, right, where the card game obviously exists. But I'm not going to lie to you, I didn't have enough money for it. So I was like, this isn't. And at this point in the game, that money I want to keep for other things. Do you know what I mean? If I want to upgrade my weapons or whatever. That was another one of the quests that I discovered in the world, by the way, was the blacksmith. Do you know what I mean? And it was just like, instead of just being like, this is how you blacksmith, the blacksmith needed help. I went and got something for him. I came back. He then showed me how to upgrade my gear. Awesome. Love that. And I haven't even gotten out of the first town. This is what I'm talking about. Like all this stuff I'm talking about, I haven't even gotten out of the first town. This game is absolutely enormous. I've seen some of the reviews say like, I spent 50 hours in the first region of the game, and there are 4 massive regions in this game. Do you know what I mean? So look, if every single region is as densely packed as this one is with stuff like this to do, I might never finish playing this game. So yeah, in a nutshell, for me, in my first 5 hours, the side content is what naturally drew me in. There was the temptation to power through with the story stuff and unlock as many of the main kind of mechanics and stuff as possible, but I just didn't. Do you know what I mean? I just didn't want to. I was just like, I love the look of this town. I love the sound. I love the feeling. I want to go and explore. I want to see, if there's side quests or side activities, or what does this person want? Or look, here's another bounty. Oh yeah, the bounties, by the way. The bounties is absolutely brilliant. They're everywhere. They're literally everywhere. They range from going like really, really far away, and you'll have to tackle some difficult bandits, and then if you kill them, you lose half of the money, and then you've got to bring them back. Or there was like the first couple I did that were just people in the town, like thieves and stuff. Do you know what I mean? It wasn't like big, scary bandit criminals and stuff. Even the bounties offered different varieties of enemy. Do you know what I mean? Like, say the first one was a thief, and all I had to do was find him, tackle him, tie him up, take him back to the jail. There's going to be other ones where I've got to go out and battle them. Do you know what I mean? 100%. That's, going to be a huge thing. But there are so many of these bounties. It's outrageous. So look, that was something that instantly, as soon as I found it, I just ran around picking up all these bounties and tried to do any of the ones that I could that were in the near vicinity. And yeah, the side content in this game, absolutely brilliant. And like I say, for me, I think this is probably what's going to be my main source of enjoyment for this game in general. So in my first 5 hours, negatives, right? Let's be honest, let's be candid, let's try and give a balanced review, because as much as I am enjoying this game so far, yes, of course there are negatives. It's a little bit janky, right? It's a little bit janky at the end of the day. So, the NPC conversations is a real mixed bag. Sometimes they feel really wooden and the conversations feel a bit weird. There are kind of, weird pauses between people's lines and stuff. It doesn't, like I say, it's not a cinematic masterpiece of conversation like Red Dead is. It's something definitely that, it doesn't make me not like it, do you know what I mean? But it was just an instant thing that I noticed. I was like, okay, the NPC interactions can be a little bit wooden. And again, I'm only 5 hours in. I'm sure that's going to be different throughout quests. Like, there are some quests where they've been acted really, really well. Like there was this one you do quite early where this dude falls off the roof and he has an argument with his wife, and that was really well acted out and it was funny and stuff. But then there's other ones where you just like talk to people and it just feels a bit wooden. It feels a little bit strange. There is a bit of jank. I guess arguably, depending on what kind of game you are, the performance, if you are only on a base console, maybe is a bit of a negative as well. It is not like, for me, like it took getting used to. I've gotten so used to 60 frames a second on performance mode and that looking pretty good in general on PS5. I was really disappointed when I put it in performance mode and saw that fuzzy sheen. Do you know what I mean? That was disappointing. But at the same time, I like it in quality mode. It's not as smooth as I would like it to be, but it is definitely, you know, still very playable as far as I'm concerned. But if you're someone who is like, I can only play games at the smoothest frame rate possible, then you might have an issue with that. Do you know what I mean? That's not necessarily a negative for me because I'm still going to really enjoy it like that on my base PS5. But if you're the kind of person that needs that really super smooth frame rate in order for you to enjoy a game like this, then maybe that's going to be a bit of a drawback for you as well. And yeah, like I say, again, not so much of a negative and a drawback for me, but I can definitely see the controls and the mechanics putting people off, and just the fact itself that there's so much to learn. Like I say, for me, I love that because I've been waiting for this game for a long time. I love a game that I can really sink my time into. I love a game that I can live in, and that works for me. But for a lot of people who are hyped by how good this game looked and were hoping they'd just be able to jump into it and smash their way through it, it's not going to work like that, I'm afraid. So look, summary. Will I keep playing after 5 hours? Yes, 1,000 times. Yes, I'm going to smash this game. I don't know how long it's going to take me. So look, disclaimer for anyone that's made it this far. This channel is basically at the moment a secondary channel, but I really want to make it my premier channel that I do. I make football content every single day on another channel, right? So that always has to take precedence because that channel is monetized. But I want to work on this channel more, and I'm choosing Crimson Desert as the game to do it with. I am going to smash this game. I'm going to play it for hundreds and hundreds of hours. I'm absolutely sure about it. Is it perfect? No. Is it for everyone? No. Is it the, you know, most smoothest game in the world? Absolutely not. This game will present you with some issues and some hurdles to get over at the beginning, but I'm sure if you're like me and you can get over those hurdles and just commit to it, you're absolutely going to love it. And I cannot wait to dive further into the world of Pyroworld. And ultimately, I will be making a lot more content and bringing it to you. Once I've gotten through the main story, however long that takes, I will do my full review, and I'm going to do little stuff in the meantime as well. So guys, if you can think of any particular Crimson Desert content that you'd like to see, I'm going to do a video about how to fish, how to mine, and how to chop wood and stuff like that. I'm thinking about making some little tutorials. If you've got any particular opinions about particular things you'd like to see from me, whether it be long form or short form, get them in the comments. Nice one, guys. I'm going to wrap the video up there because I've got a lot more Crimson Desert to play and I can't wait. I'm so excited. Thank you very much for sticking around until the end of the video if you did, and I will hopefully catch up with you all very soon. Take it easy. Peace.